Oftentimes people ask me, what do I do to work out? I don't work out anymore, folks. I worked out enough between the ages of, 14, abusively, until the age of, I guess, whenever the lockdowns happened in 2020. And I think I was, 42 when that happened. So anyway, I stopped moving. And that's what I do now. I walk in the woods and I stretch. So my brother made me this for Christmas. This is so magical. All right. And you can make one of these too. It's a copper wire and it goes around this walking stick. So he purchased the walking stick at a festival and then he, put all this magical stuff on it. So if you put this on the ground while you're barefoot, okay, it helps you heal your body. Now, no, we can't say the word heal, but guess what? I've used my body as an experiment for all my life, and I know what works and I know what doesn't. And so because I am very, very sore, I know that I probably need to be stretching out because I haven't been stretching like I need to. So hopefully, if you are watching this on July 5th, the day after July 4th, Independence Day, I'm showing you what I like to do in my independent time, which is stretch out and feel good in my body. So I got a chair cushion because I like to be outside and oftentimes I'll sit here with my cat. But if you take this and you put this in the ground, okay, you're getting the frequency from the earth. You have your feet in the ground and you also have your hands here, right? And so I can put this at different levels that I need to. I can also pull myself forward if I need to, all right? And the cool thing about this is that I don't need to have on exercise clothes. I can just go outside in my backyard and do this. You can even do this at home. If you don't have a stick like this, not to worry, you can get a PVC pipe that's 5 feet tall, and then they also have them that are 10 feet tall. You want to make that PVC pipe as tall as you are, all right? So if you're 5 foot tall, you need a 5 foot PVC pipe. And if you are 6 feet tall, you probably want to get the 10 feet and then cut it to scale, okay? All right, so what I am doing, and this is cool because in the wintertime, when I can't be barefoot, I can still get the electromagnetic frequencies from the earth by holding this staff as it touches the ground so that I don't have on my plastic shoes. Folks, if you are having a lot of anxiety, it probably is a good idea for you to get off of social media, get off of technology, get away from the phone, the television, whatever is keeping you away from being outside, because that's why you're sick. That's why you're depressed. That's why you have anxiety, okay? And wearing these plastic shoes or Crocs, that's one of the worst things you can do for yourself. And guess what? I'm wearing plastic shoes, right? Allegria. And I wore these for about 2 miles yesterday when I walked. They're my favorite shoes. But guess what? Because I've been wearing those, my toes have been cramping out, all right? So this is what I do in order to stretch out after 3 days of the Statue of Liberty workout. Now, let me tell you a little background story. Last year, during December, I did the 12 days of fitness workout, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because that's when Christmas fell. The next weekend is obviously New Year's, right? And so I worked out again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or what was it? Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So my body hurt, right? And I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm going to stretch out and everybody gets a little bit. I even wore my Statue of Liberty costume yesterday so I didn't have to work out. I took pictures and videos. I did my part. Everybody got a little bit. But now it's time to give back to myself, okay? So what you want to do, because people cramp down on those shoes, we want to make sure that we're doing the opposite way of pulling our foot, okay? And so what I'm doing, all right, and if you have knee problems, you want to get a cushion, or maybe you can double up that cushion. I had knee surgery at 22 years old, okay? I know what knee pain feels like, and I just listen to my body, right? And I pull back when I need to. I get extra cushion. I don't go down as far, okay? And I also have a lot of exercise injuries from being on the go for so many years and doing those abusive exercises that I can't do that anymore. So I got to be in balance by exercising a different way. All right. So I have my toes kind of pushed down like that, like I'm getting ready to leap off. Okay. Now, if this is painful for your knees, put a little bit more cushion there. I also like to take a squishy ball, and sometimes I will put it here in between my knees to kind of squeeze as I bring my hips forward, and I can squeeze different muscles and align my kneecap a little bit better because my knee gets off track a lot. And so I've had to kind of do some different remedies now so that my knee is in more alignment when I do an exercise, so my foot isn't in pain. So my knee and my hip isn't in pain. Okay. All right. So we have our stick here. All right. And again, we could use the PVC pipe. If you didn't hear that, rewind the video and back it up. And again, this is a stick, if you're just tuning in, that my brother made for me. It has a copper wire here and a copper wire here. So that way I can ground to the earth a little bit better and use the frequencies to help heal my body, because my feet are here, my hands are here, and I'm grounding, okay? Grounding to the earth. All right, so we're going to sit back for me, and as we do that, we're going to push back into our toes. Now, you might feel this through the arches of your feet, and if that's okay, just do the best that you can, okay? Now, you're going to roll those shoulders back. You can walk your hands down the stick if you want to, or a little bit up. I have a tendency to pull things into my neck, so I want to roll those shoulders back. All right, so this is a good stretch that I like to do, especially after walking in flip-flops a lot. And you just want to be aware, am I bringing my hips back, okay? Or do I need to tuck my hips under? If you are tuning in, sorry I can't say hey, I don't see whoever is there. I don't have my glasses on. But leave a comment if you're getting something out of this. So again, I'm stretching out through my heels for me and my arches of my feet. And I'm actually trying to spray my hands and my toes, not my hands, my toes apart as far as they can go. All right. And then we come up nice and slowly as we pull this underneath. All right. So we're kind of scooping our hips under. Slow, slow, slow. So I'm calling this Taurus moves. All right. Because Taurus moves slow. Taurus doesn't like to change either, okay? So we are moving the Taurus slow after moving the Aries fast, all right? We got to balance that energy out, all right? So if you are tired of being in pain and you've been going to the gym a lot and exercise still hurts for you, Taurus moves may be the way to go. All right, so we still have our toes apart, right? So we're sitting back onto those heels nice and slow, and we're tucking the hips under, tucking the hips under. And this is a good way, folks, for you to get some sunshine, right? And we're going to slowly come up, tucking the hips under. We have our stick here, right? We're not holding on for dear life, right? We're holding on for stability, because Taurus is stability. All right, so now we're going to take our toes and we're going to sit back on them like that, because they've been in that position that we don't like. It's uncomfortable, right? Uranus is in Taurus right now at 29 degrees, which is uncomfortable. And he is getting ready to go into Gemini. And so there's going to be a lot of new information coming out, new information about how to heal the body, right? This is healing the body in a weird and unusual way. That's what Uranus is, weird and unusual. And Taurus is our fixed earth. All right. So we're going to do that one more time. And this is cool because I have the sun right here, right? So I can get a suntan, all right, while I got my bathing suit on. So I'm fortunate to have an outside area to do this. All right, so we got our toes stacked up against us again, relaxing through our shoulders. We're going to tuck those hips under, tuck those hips under, tuck those hips under. And it's good just to kind of focus on your breath at this point. How many of us hold our breath when something's uncomfortable? We go to move something, and then we release, all right? I lifted weights for how many years? I'm sure I learned real quickly how to hold my breath, right? I never focused on my breathing. Exhale as you come up, or you can inhale. It doesn't matter, all right? Inhale if you come forward. Exhale if you come forward. Who cares? Just make sure that your breath is in move with your movement, right? So it doesn't matter if you're cocooning in when we could exhale. We could inhale here, something different. Maybe that would be good for us and our lungs, and they help them expand, especially if you've been crunched down like this at a desk or a phone, right? And then we come back up, pushing the hips underneath us, not doing this, okay? And leading with the hips. You're tucking the hips under, and you're kind of leading with that part of your thigh, okay? Good job. All right. So that was 2. We're going to sit back on those toes. Ooh, because it's not used to that. All right. We're going to sit right here and just kind of rub the thighs. All right. And another thing that you could do would be to kind of do this. I went to a retreat this past weekend, and I learned Qigong, and we did that outside in front of a lake. It was so beautiful, and just grounding down into the wet grass. I'm definitely going to have to watch some YouTube videos on how to do that once I have a little bit more time. But anyway, here is our next exercise that we are going to do, or our next Taurus move, not next exercise. All right, so you have your toes that are kind of, you had to kind of warm them up just a little bit so we could get into this position here for stretching out through our hip. All right, so we're going to come down. We have our knee here. Right now, if you want to go back to that position that we were in at the beginning. That's what I would prefer. But if that is not resonating with you, and today you're learning something new, you know, I need to focus here instead of being on my foot, that's fine too. Just watch out for your knee, okay, if you do that. All right, so with this, you want to make sure that your foot is not right in front of your knee. You want to come out and then come over just a little bit. And again, if you need a little bit more padding underneath your knee, then by all means add a little bit more cushion there. All right, so I like to take this stick, all right, and I'm going to kind of roll my shoulders back. I have a lot of neck issues. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like from this angle. And then when I get done, because I want you to really focus on what my hip is doing. And then I'm going to show you what this way is doing by facing this direction and show you what my upper body is doing, okay? But focusing on the lower part first, okay? All right, so we're going to tuck our hips under. So again, if you're just tuning in, this will be good for anybody to do, okay? And you can get a PVC pipe at Lowe's hardware store or Home Depot that's 5 feet tall. Or if you are over 5 feet, they have 10-foot options available and you can cut it to size. So what I'm doing here, folks, is I'm focusing on keeping my hips stationary. I'm mostly concerned with not having this hip back, right? You got to turn your hip this way, tuck your hip under for me. All right, and when we do that, we want to focus on squeezing through our glutes and relaxing through our quadriceps for me. And we're rolling our shoulders back and our arms are out almost like you want to be parallel to the floor. All right, parallel to the ground. All right, we're rolling those shoulders back, paying attention to make sure that one shoulder is not coming up into the ears. Now, I developed a really bad neck issue and movement issue after the knee surgery at 22. And then I was in a car accident that had whiplash. And then I just kept working out, right? No, just working through the pain. And then I was in an ATV accident, which I think severed my thoracic nerve here in the back. So I've had neck and upper back issues since I was in my mid-20s. So over time, lifting all those weights, you know, improperly has caused me to not move so well. So now what I have to do is I just have to hold positions in a relaxed state, tucking my hips, making sure my shoulders are back, bringing my chin back, okay? And focusing on my breathing. Focusing on my breathing. And it doesn't matter if I'm inhaling or exhaling as I'm moving through it. It's almost like I need to hold a specific stretch. All right, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like from the front. All right, now I'm going to switch legs because I need to go to the other side. And you saw what it looked like from that position, all right? So what I'm doing is I'm rolling my shoulders back. You already saw me do that. Now your toes, they can be kind of pushed down that way. Again, we warmed those up. If you didn't see that, rewind that video. And then you want to take your toes down in that position if you feel like that's more comfortable. But I'm going to do mine the way that I did earlier in the beginning of the video. So again, we want to make sure that our foot is not in the same area as our knee. We want to kind of come over this way, okay? So we're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to push our arm out, all right? Now, what I have a tendency to do, all right, is I'm like this on this side, okay? And so I have a lot of issues here in my hips and how I move. It's compensatory, folks. If you don't put your foot down to the ground because maybe you wore high heel shoes too long, or maybe you exercised too much and didn't stretch out that calf, all right? You could be setting yourself up for a knee issue or a hip issue just because we don't move well. We just throw some weight on our bodies and let's go to town, right? Because we want to see the image we want, even though we may not move well to get that image, right? So we just want to kind of hold and relax. So I have this at about my knee level, and I'm just focusing on relaxing my shoulders down in my back. As a Leo rising, Leos and Aquarius, they control the electrical impulses in your spine and in your back. They have a lot of heart issues, or maybe they have congestion around the heart, or rib cage issues, or maybe upper back issues, get knots in their upper back. A lot of Leos have that problem, and it's because They don't open up their heart. Leo rules the heart, right? So a lot of these practices that I do these days of moving slower, because I have a lot of Taurus in my chart, this is moving slow. Yoga's moving slow. A lot of you guys knew me as an Aries where I was fast, and let's go 100 miles an hour. Well, my body's paying for that now, right? All those hardcore exercises that I did for multiple hours a day, teaching all those classes, and let's add a fitness competition on top of that where we don't move well, right? So I don't move well. So I'm trying to work on moving a little bit better. And since I have worked on moving just a little bit better, keeping the hips tucked under, right, as we move this forward, then I have learned how to feel better in my body. And I don't have to, you know, do all that abusive exercise in the gym. I can focus on feeling good by moving just a little bit slower. All right, so we're going to do one more stretch that I really like. So again, this is when you want to have one of those poles that is as long as your arm. All right, now you can see that this probably needs to be just a little bit longer, but who cares? This is a walking stick, right? And this is what I have here. And I've been doing this enough that I know how to keep my hands like this, where if you are a new participant, you're going to have a tendency to kind of fold over like that and not get the best expression of the move. So you want to make sure that the stick that you choose is the height of you. All right. So what I want to do, because I don't move well in my back, right? And a lot of people, they have a tendency, and I'm just exaggerating this, but this is all of us, right? We stand like this and we text like this, and look at what that's doing, okay? So if you have a big bump on your back, like you're setting yourself up to start walking with a walker. You know, why do we want to do that? We just don't move well, okay? So anyway, you want to put this behind your shoulders, and I used to not be able to do this. I had shoulder issues, and so I just wanted to focus on getting those heavy squats in. So I just did poor form so I could get those heavy squats in, and now 20 some years later, I'm paying for that, right? All right, so we're going to have our soft knees, and we want to make sure our hips are tucked under. So we have our soft knees, hips are tucked under, rolling the shoulders back, reaching the arms out. And I like to do my hands kind of like this and just focus on if I do feel some tension under this shoulder blade, which I do. Like I said, I had a ATV accident when I was like 28 years old. And so I have a lot of issues with my back that I ignored for many years. All right, so we just want to focus on breathing through the chest and down. And as we do that, we're going to tuck our hips under. And again, you can inhale, exhale as you choose. Inhale, exhale. And then I'm just going to kind of rotate just a little bit. Rotate just a little bit as my knees are soft. All right, so I'm going to face this way so you can kind of see what's going on. All right, my knees are soft, tucking the hips under. And as I'm here, I can look down. Because remember, I got neck issues, so I need to focus on pushing my neck down with the bar and reaching up with my neck to turn. All right, and the sun is not dangerous, folks. This copper wire is getting charged by that sun. I'm getting charged by the sun. Right? It makes our plants and our flowers grow. So why do we think it wouldn't make us grow? Right? Slightly bend those knees, and then we straighten them out, and then we slightly bend them down. And if you want to breathe through it, you can. And it doesn't matter if you inhale or exhale, down or up, who cares? Maybe move your head with it. Oh, that feels so good. All right, now for some of us, we might need to kind of roll those shoulders back. To me, that feels so good. I feel my shoulder doesn't hurt me right now because the shoulder issue is coming from the neck. The shoulder issue is not the shoulder issue. All right, so now we're going to do the other side. We're going to bring the shoulders back, roll those shoulders back. So again, if you're just tuning in, all right, we're going to tuck those hips under, soften those knees for me, please. We're going to reach those arms out. All right. We're going to walk the feet around so you can kind of see what's going on. So remember, if you're just tuning in, we're kind of looking to the right or to the left. Inhale, exhale. And then we want to soften those knees as we come down and we look up. So if you're just tuning in, I see people coming in and out. I moved my body very fast for a very long time. And so we do now Taurus moves. We move slow. And we focus on trying to heal our body. And I'm definitely working through my neck issues. So I'm going to bend and inhale, exhale as I move up and down, moving your neck with it. And each time you kind of relax just a little bit more. So if you have neck issues, if you have upper back issues, give some of these things a try. If you are creative and you have been having a lot of pain in your body, right? It could be because maybe you are misaligned with some of the frequencies in your body. So the best way to learn about yourself and to help yourself is to get off the phone, get off technology, get outside in nature, ground yourself down to the earth, walk your pet. You don't have to, be doing some boot camp outside on the beach. Yeah, that's fun if you're on vacation, but you can be outside and do a bunch of different exercises too. It doesn't have to look like that. You can have fun, moving a lot slower, breathing, do the things that you do oppositely. Because if you are outside in the sun all the time, maybe you need a break inside and maybe need to do a yoga trapeze class and get in the air that way and have some shade. But if you're inside all the time, we gotta balance that out. You gotta get outside. Get outside, get some sunshine, let it heal yourself, get all the sun that you can so that when December comes around, you're not all depressed because you have gotten all that store of the sunshine. All right, magical people, let me know if this helped you out. If you want to learn how to do this stick, my brother made it for me, and he said it was very hard to make. I told him that he could be in business doing something like this, but this helps you ground down to the earth, especially in the wintertime when we have to wear those plastic shoes and we can't be barefoot. All right, bye.